using the... Nah, Luzon's got this one by the nuts, mate. No shit. He's got it. He's got it by short and cool. He ain't letting go. Luzon's a Frenchman. He's a dirty, cheating little bastard who eats snails and frogs' legs.
Snails and frog legs.
Hello and welcome to the IMBA Cup final. The two players here, we got Lucian, who got here by beating Uber Geek in the semifinal. Going first there with Seraphim, that's going to be nice. And he's taking on Voodoo, who's going first land, playing as UEF, undefeated, the only undefeated player. Has already beaten Lucian. So we'll see this first bomber. This is going to be exciting. Of course, we run Theta. Very small map, very popular map. Probably the second best map after Settings, in my opinion. And here at 1 minute, here comes the bomber. Let's see what it can do. For Lucian, one thing to note, we got a whole bunch of mech marines from Voodoo. These are very aggressive, so mech marines versus bomber. Let's see what wins. We got this exposed NG here trying to get the Hydra. And it's most likely going to be a dead one. And that was 2 bombs, 3 bombs. That was ridiculous. He just hit the ACU and 2 NGs. Lucian being ridiculous with that bomber. Now we got some mech marines for Voodoo. He needs to put a lot of pain on Lucian. He's still got all the NGs next to the ACU. Or make the scout. He's going to try to avoid the ACU here in the middle. Looks like that bomber is dead. We got a kill on this Artie. But that was pretty devastating by Lucian early on. We got an expanding NG. So we got to note that these mech marines got to kill at least 2 NGs to make it even. And we got first shots fired here up on top. 1 kill for this mech marine, runs into the ACU. Another bomber coming out for Lucian. He's going to look for expanding NGs. And now Voodoo has tied it up. Still got an NG here with an opportunity. Of course, those NGs were a little earlier from Voodoo that were killed. And here comes the second bomber. We got some flak. It's flak versus bomber action here. Lucian's going to take it back, attack from the other side. That's a big advantage Air has. It's much faster. This mech marine now coming directly into the base. There's only NGs, actually 1 tank here at the base. And now you can see the mech marine is going to try to take out an NG. He does. 3 kills for the 2 first mech marines. He's going to go up against some tanks, and the tanks take care of the situation. Still got this bomber from Lucian. He's waiting to use it. It's funny, you can see flak protecting NGs instead of the regular tanks from Voodoo. Now Voodoo actually going to push with some tanks and some flak against some NGs. And yet another kill for the bomber. So now 3 calls for Lucian's bombers, and he's got actually another one, the 3rd bomber out. We might see a battle with NGs here on top. We got 2 tanks versus 1. Lucian's going to get the advantage. And we can see actually an air factory now for the Voodoo as well. That killed the interceptor. That was a great bomb from Lucian. And the bombers keep on coming. The flak is effective, but it looks like well, it is actually quite even, this battle for map control. The top looks like it's going to belong to Lucian. But trouble for Lucian here on the bottom. 3 mask strikers plus an NG getting taken out. We see a response from Lucian, and the bombers keep on flying. And a sneaky tank here is going to take out the NG. We get tanks snuck past 3 others, which are going to kill some mask strikers from Voodoo. Finally, interceptors out for Voodoo. They're going to kill these bombers. And after that first 6 minutes, it seems to be quite even. Still, maybe a slight advantage for Lucian here on top, but it's going away very quickly. We can see now Voodoo in the middle getting some factories, still a few rocks to reclaim. And it looks like he's going to have a total of 7 land factories. At least that's the plan. We see 5 land factories from Lucian. 6 is the air factory, but somehow Lucian has way more units, and actually his tank being very aggressive, pushing close to Voodoo's base. And you can see the map control has completely shifted toward Lucian. We see that Voodoo's been making interceptors, which have killed the bombers, but aren't really doing any attacking. Now Voodoo here in a little bit of trouble quite early on. He's kinda at 7 kills. UEF ACU is strong, but not that strong. Voodoo's got to be worried, especially with his Seraphim Arty. He's got to get more units to his ACU. Now at 9 kills, Lucian keeps on pushing. And now we see 6,000 health, and this is the problem with 3603. Even that small advantage is going to be translated into a win given the really weak ACU nuke. You can see now 7,000 health, 5,000, 4,000. Actually probably would not have mattered if it was the 3609 or 3599 or 3610. And actually 8-minute game, this first game of the finals. I forgot to mention this is a best of 5, so we got 4 more games. And this is another great map for the second game and the best of 5 in the finals of the IMBA Cup. Last game, Lucian, here's Voodoo, he lost on Theta in under 9 minutes. This is such a great map. I love this map. We got Lucian here with UEF as well as Voodoo both going first land, so no bombers in this one. Bombers in this one a little more dangerous with this flak in the middle. But Voodoo's got to win a game, otherwise it's 2 up, and then a best of 5 2 up. It's a great place to be if you're Lucian. Now we see first Mech Marines coming out for Voodoo. Mech Marines are great in this one, a lot of pockets on this map to hide in. And actually both players sending Mech Marines, but they're not going to meet. They're all going to avoid the middle. In the middle we got a bunch of PD, a whole bunch of civs, pretty good mass. And you can see this nearly identical now from these two players. First NG, actually second NG ad goes to the mass extractor. First 2 PGens. This is what is called identical play. This is, well, their only difference now, they're the second Mech Marine. And Voodoo is going to be able to, actually no, great micro it seems from Lucian. He's able to win that Mech Marine fight, but the Mech Marine for Voodoo gets in. This is going to be a little bit of a pain. Actually it looks like Lucian is ready to deal with this. He's got radar plus a Mech Marine coming in. And you can see how the Mech Marine was shooting at the radar. Got that early advantage. That's a good defense from Lucian. And that early Mech Marine, we're already with 1 kill. Over here is going to hide next to this Hydra. That's going to be pretty devastating if this NG doesn't get any protection from Voodoo. So you can't say that anybody had an advantage with early light assault bot. Both players defended very well. Looks like it's going to be a land spam with UEF from Voodoo. And a third land here from Lucian. Not really clear what else. You can see this Hydra here is a little earlier for Lucian. And this will be a pretty big deal if this NG is lost to the Mech Marine. Voodoo's going to be in a little bit of trouble. We see an NG here from Voodoo. Eventually he's going to get a Hydra, well defended by 3 Mech Marines, 2 Mech Marines from Lucian running away. And now the ACU for Voodoo moving out. The ACU for Lucian also moving out. Looks like we're going to have the ACUs on the same side here up on top. And actually a tank just came in here, cleaned up a whole bunch of Mech Marines. Great play from Lucian. So far Voodoo's having some trouble. He does have a great rating tank here. That's going to take out a half build to actually even more Hydra. That's going to be great. And now the ACU for Voodoo, very aggressive, is going to run into Lucian's ACU. And I can see these early raids from Lucian have denied the Hydras for Voodoo, and now Voodoo is going to start retreating. So this other side is all going to be fought by units. See very similar numbers here, UEF on UEF, as even as it can be. One difference is there's already an NG here for Lucian. If he was to establish a PD or something like that, if it doesn't, it might be a little bit of trouble for Lucian. Plenty of tanks here for Voodoo now, so. Well, one thing to note, it looks like Voodoo is retreating down, so this bottom place is definitely going to belong to Voodoo. The top is given over to Lucian. This Hydra right here from Lucian is huge in terms of power. Nobody has gone to the middle yet. We got a good looking radar here from Lucian close to the middle. You should see an arty from one of the players taking out the PDs in the middle. He had another push with 5 tanks from Lucian, as well as some arty. Looks like there's plenty of numbers for Voodoo. They're not as organized, but yeah, now they're gonna move in and take that easy kill. Now Lucian's gonna move in with his ACU. Now it looks like Voodoo is gonna attack Lucian's base here. See Lucian now going with a 7th land factory. Looks like the 8th is gonna be air. We also see now 6th and 7th land factory for Voodoo as well, so very even. Very even with mass extractors too, it seems. Maybe a little more for Lucian. And now Voodoo's ACU goes into the Lucian's base. Lucian responds by making a PD. 3 NGs on a PD, and once that PD is built, should be in good shape. Maybe another PD would be nice. Voodoo can overcharge this PD. I know it looks like it's just getting free kills here. A 2nd PD being built. A couple kills here for Voodoo. And up on the other side we see some sneaky tanks trying to get into Voodoo's base, but unsuccessful. Looks like Lucian's bringing his ACU back to base. 9 kills for this PD. That's a great PD from Lucian. And these are the type of losses you cannot take in a game like this. Now it looks like a 2nd PD is going to be completed. 13, 14 kills and even more coming. So not the best tactic from Voodoo there, it seems. He just gave away a whole bunch of mass to Lucian. But perhaps he can use this to win some map control, but yeah, now he's just completely retreating. But he may have just exchanged a whole bunch of mass for map control. So a great attack here on top from Voodoo. He's gonna have most of the map, 3/4 of the map, unless Lucian can push him back. But very even numbers here. Looks like Voodoo has turned around. He's gonna protect his expansion. And up on top, it's complete loss for Lucian. We should see NGs moving into that expansion, and we do, at least 1 or 2. So far, great play for Voodoo. Very aggressive, fighting that PD. But we'll see if Lucian can recover. He already has a T2 air. I completely missed that. Tech 2 gunship full of mech marines. This is a ghetto. This is a very good ghetto here from Lucian. And it looks like he's going to get another before he attacks. Some great attacking here from Voodoo. He completely controls the map. And now here comes the ghetto. Voodoo has absolutely no anti-air. He's going to have to retreat. He's got to switch completely to flak here and just try to get as much flak as he possibly can. Doesn't look like that's what he's going to do. He's basically won the map, but he's about to lose his ACU. And that's a ridiculous move here from Lucian. A great move with T2 air. He kind of snuck up on everybody. And Voodoo loses inside of Lucian's base. There goes game 2, and Lucian's 2 up. This is now going to be a do or die. Well, just a do. Next game for Voodoo. Hello and welcome to game 3 of this best of 5 final in the IMBA Cup. And Voodoo versus Lucian. Voodoo's got to win this one. He's already down 2. He won the map last game, but Lucian beat him with a great Tech 2 move. Those ghetto gunships is very creative. Looks like first land from Lucian on this one. Certus, another great map. We got some very good maps for the final. Wish we would have seen these a little earlier so they would have been played a little more. Very similar for Lucian here, but UEF on Seraphim. Voodoo's staying with his UEF. Going to the Hydro, 2nd air. A lot of rocks here on this map. Of course, here a whole bunch of mass in the middle if you can get past a couple of Tech 1 PDs. Also Tech 2 flak. Don't send your bombers there. 2nd air from Lucian. Once again, very similar builds. Last game, the two players were nearly identical for our first couple of minutes. See what happens in this one. A little bigger map. See a whole bunch of Selines coming out for Lucian. Perhaps he's gonna put them on. Yeah, it looks like he's gonna put them in the expansion. You can set them on all these mass extractors, prevent building. See an NG here. Just a whole bunch of NGs from Voodoo. Now a tank. Absolutely no mech marines. That is very strange. He's gonna play very safe. His XCU actually going to the middle. He's gonna get a factory. He's going to try to fight for that metal. Let's see how quickly. Yeah, he's going to be much faster than Lucian. Lucian's getting a few factories before he gets there. Actually, he's going to take this expansion with his ACU. Now we're seeing bombers from Lucian. Not surprising. The air factory for Voodoo. Now going to get some interceptors. And here's this bomber looking for any kind of mech marines, any kind of threats. Avoids the flak, and I'm going to move in on Voodoo's base. Here comes the tank. The tanks from Voodoo. Looks like the Selines have passed them. They have no radar with them. They have no way of knowing those Selines are there. And I can see where those Selines are going. Right onto those mass extractors. And here comes the first kill of the game. Another massive carpet bomb there from Lucian. Already 3 kills. You see a lot of dead NGs. Oh man, that was not cool. That was a lot of kills there. But that was a good interceptor from Voodoo. He killed that bomber after losing about 6 units. And here comes Voodoo with the Arty. He's going to get the middle mass. And I can see these engines are going to run into some trouble. They cannot build, they're just going to stare at that Seline. Voodoo breaks through, he's still got 1 PD to take care of. So Arty's got to shoot it, otherwise the ACU is going to take some hits. And the ACU for Lucian very late to the middle. See a lot of power here for Voodoo, he's going to need to utilize that, and it's going to be a massive Tech 1 land spam. It's a 2v1 fight here. Looks like the Sarah tank is gonna run by, but nothing to kill. Some scouting interceptors from Lucian. And you can see multiple teams of NGs making factories. Now the middle completely belongs to Voodoo. He's gonna reclaim this middle chunk of mass. It's about 4,000 mass. Here comes a drop from Lucian here, minute 6. Full of Arty, 7 Arty in that Tech 1 transport. He's gonna drop it in. If that drop is successful, kill a lot of power here. There are some bombers that perhaps can protect for Voodoo. And here comes Lucian in the middle. He is late. And this successful drop is gonna get at least an Arty. A great bombers here from Voodoo. Actually, these aren't Arty, these are tanks. Probably not the best choice. Arty could kill much faster. Here come the bombers. And a pretty large air force now from Lucian. Might see an air fight that Lucian can definitely win there. Now Voodoo in the middle retreating quite hard after picking up the mass. Lucian's going to pick up the pieces. And it does appear it's going to be very close. But it does appear that Lucian is going to have air control. Lucian also has quite a few land factories. No Tech 2 yet, very early, but map control definitely looks like Lucian's getting a little better of getting those early mass extractors. These Selines still in the game, preventing mass extractor building. Looks like a pretty large force here, and yet another transport from Lucian. Voodoo marches in through the middle with a pretty large force. He's got quite a few land factories. Actually, a lot of land factories. A couple of T2 mass extractors. Actually, he's got 4 of them. And those were paid for by that middle mass. He's going to have a very good economy here. Walks by a few NGs. ACU with 11 kills. It appears that, yeah, this is another successful drop, but Lucian is pulling a lot of his units back. Voodoo marching in on Lucian's base. Lucian getting an upgrade with the ACU. If Lushan can get that upgrade, he already has Tech 2 land here with some Ilshavas, however you say it. Voodoo with 13 kills. Voodoo still working on that. He's got a Tech 2 engineer actually helping. Voodoo in quite a bit of trouble. He's in a lot of trouble now with Lushan now has the gun. He can outrange him and outgun him. That was perhaps a mistake from Voodoo, a little too much aggression now with 20 kills. He's got to send a lot of units this way. And meanwhile, some raiding here from Lushan. It takes out the expansion from Voodoo. At the same time, still while that was all happening, Lushan playing much better, and this is very strange. Voodoo not the Voodoo we're used to. He's actually retreating, and he's got big problems. He's got flak, Tech 2, Lushan with the gun. All he's got is a whole bunch of Tech 1. See a lot of Tech 1 spam. Here comes a drop actually from Lushan. Engie, he's gonna take this expansion as well. Appears that Voodoo was able to escape with his life. See Lushan's ACU now with 24 kills. He can keep on pushing. And actually a great attack here from Voodoo. Looks like he took some unit around the outside, attacking Lushan's expansion. And this is another drop here from Lushan. These have been deadly all game. This one's got Artie. You can see he's taking out Hydro. If you could take out that energy storage, it would be very devastating. Voodoo retreating, still retreating back to his base. And yet another drop. Lushan cannot put a stop to these drops directly into his base. And you can see he's got units sitting on both sides of his base there. It's kind of ridiculous. See a row of Tech 1 PD with walls here from Voodoo. He wants to stop Lushan's assault, but he's got to worry about his power getting wiped out. He's got 2 Tech 1 air factories, quite a few engines. He needs that power badly. He lost the Hydro as well. He's got a whole bunch more power here now. Looks like this attack from Voodoo was put down, but on top, some more trouble. So this Tech 1 is paying off with actually very strange things happening. You got yellow, blue, yellow. Usually that doesn't happen. But here it looks like this top expansion is going to belong to Lushan. He's got PD and NGs and factories. Lushan now with 33 kills in the middle. There's a bunch of Tech 1. Group of about 20 moving into Lushan's base. And a pretty big stream here. These Yoshua's got to be having a lot of kills. 1 kill for that one. And if it wasn't for this situation, Voodoo would be in good shape, but losing that expansion and allowing factories and PDs and so close to your base is trouble. But he is doing pretty good raiding in Lushan's base now. Still hasn't rebuilt his Hydra. And some NGs now from Voodoo picking up some of this mass in the middle. You gotta remember, Voodoo's gotta play much harder than Lushan. Lushan can't afford to lose this one. Voodoo's gotta win it. Air definitely belongs to Lushan. Well, at least his air is in the middle, up in the air. Quite a bit of air for Voodoo here as well. We can see successful defense here. 7-8 kills now for this PD and Voodoo's expansion. And all these attacks from Voodoo have been put down here at minute 15. Yet another force here with Tech 1, about 20-30 tanks moving in. Shouldn't be any trouble. 43 kills for Lushan's gunned ACU. Radar in the middle for Voodoo. Voodoo now no upgrades, just marching over to the middle. Now trouble here for Voodoo. We got a whole bunch of Yoshuas here as well as Tech 1. You see a lot of units being pulled back by Voodoo. He's got to play defense. And great use of NGs here from Lushan. He's got so many free mass extractors here. Should really belong to Voodoo. These NGs just continue to work for these transports. Transports and NGs continue to work for Lushan. That's exactly what's happening. Very aggressive NGs from Voodoo here. This is really kind of sad to see Voodoo in this shape. Well, Something funny happening here. We got a whole bunch of tech to air. And yet another transport, another drop with RD directly into Voodoo's base. But we gotta say, this is something interesting. There's about 15 gunships, tech to gunships from Voodoo. Voodoo now retreating. Lushan sitting here, not too much anti-air. He's got tech to NG next to him. And in terms of the air forces, they're very similar. Now the tech to air from Voodoo is moving in. This could be a very important moment of the game. Here come the gunships. Looks like Lushan knows something's not right. He's running away. And this may be a successful snipe. We see a lot of air for Lushan moving into the air. There is good protection for Voodoo's gun. That was very quick. That ACU died very fast. A good snipe from Voodoo really snatched that back. It's kind of what Lushan usually does, but in this one, the tourney gets a little better, 2-1. It's going to be a very important game next one. Hello and welcome to the fourth game of the best of 5 between Lushan and Voodoo in the final of the IMBA Cup. And yet another great map. We got Eye of the Storm. Going to see a lot of different things here. Ships, air, and land. And one interesting thing, we got Cybern, the most unpopular faction in the tourney so far for Voodoo. It's going second air. Lushan's Aeon, which is the most logical faction for this map. You got the Auroras, can go anywhere, plus the shields and the flag that floats. Seraphim is probably close second, but Aeon, given how important air is on this one with the Mercies as well as gunships, probably a little better. Also the Aeon Tech 2 shields that can go in water make Aeon Navy the best navy. We do see some hunters. Well, these are flares from Lushan moving out. It's going to be second air after it looks like 7 pigeons for Voodoo. He also has a couple NGs on the Hydra. And one NG actually going into the middle, it appears, from Voodoo. A very similar NG from Lushan. That's a standard build. And these flares going on both sides for Lushan. Now second air built, now bomber for Lushan here at 240. And a transport for Voodoo. That's going to be interesting. Actually really forcing that transport out with his ACU. So with the transport, he can drop one of these spots and take his ACU to the other one. He can take both of these expansion bases very early, but we do see some bombers coming in now for Lushan. So you gotta look for any expanding engines. Really, any kills of any of these units will be very effective. Here comes the transport for Voodoo. It will be spotted by this mech marine, by this flare. And this bomber is going to react. Yeah, definitely coming back with our bomber. He's going to try to stop this expansion. 3 NGs, he's got to spread. This is going to be a crucial play of the game here at minute 4. Yeah, we see Voodoo's AC going to the other side. And there goes that. The difference there was very minimal. Nearly built factory there. Excellent play from Lushan. Very unlucky. If those NGs were spread out so they couldn't be hit with one bomb, been very nice. Another transport coming in. This one's got 1 unit. And this factory just needs a little bit of love and it'll be finished and can start producing. We see Lushan's ACU moving into this position. So an NG drops off. He's going to finish the factory. Probably make more NGs. And you got to get some PDs before that ACU gets there. I can see a nice flare here. That's one of the early flares of the game. Gets a kill. Kills the expanding NG from Voodoo. Now Voodoo's main base is under attack. We got some bombers. Stops the bomber working on a naval factory. That bomber was dead. And yet another bomber coming in from Lucian. And now this is what makes Aeon so good on this map. A tank going across the ocean is going to start killing mass extractors for Voodoo. If there is an advantage for Cyber in here, it's probably the Navy early on before the T2 shields get all crazy. Here comes a drop from Lucian. It's going to be a similar scenario here. Voodoo has got to get there before PDs go up. Here on the top, we do see PDs built just in time. Lucian's ACU is going to move in against one PD, but probably going to start retreating. Did kill a few NGs. The second factory being constructed by Voodoo up on top, but here on the bottom, successful PD plus factories. We've got ACU versus units on both expansion bases. Transports going past each other in the middle completely belongs to Lucian. We completely missed that, but not surprising given Lucian's bombers and the Auroras. It's going to be an interesting drop here from Voodoo. It looks like this drop from Lucian is going to the factory. It's going to be interesting. It's a single NG is going to start capturing mass extractors. It's a good work from Voodoo, except we got this Arty that's shooting at this NG. It looks like it's missing. That was a very smooth NG there. Captured that mass extractor while being shot at. And there he goes, did his job. It looks like some Auroras were actually dropped off over here. By the transport, a submarine coming out for Voodoo. We do see early Navy from Lucian as well. Submarine as well. It's good to make submarines early on. They're very cheap, but they do control all kinds of Navy until Tech 2 Navy. So you can prevent frigates from causing trouble. And you'll still be in the Navy if you don't go into the Navy early. You might never make it. These Auroras just being a pain in the ass here for Voodoo. It looks like up on top, good work. It's going to be a standoff here at Tech 1. See a bunch of Arty to counter the PDs, but 4 land factories now, a 5th being built from Voodoo. He's not going to give up that expansion base very easily. Another drop now for Lucian. It's amazing how much stuff's happening all at once. And another drop here from Voodoo as well. Voodoo is just dropping NGs all over the place. 6 Auroras dropped off here, close to Voodoo's expansion base. Voodoo is still trying to work on this expansion force, kills off all the NGs, but still the PD's causing trouble. He's got plenty of factories, going to make some Arty. So it looks like Voodoo is going to be successful at taking bottom expansion. Top expansion is much more hard to predict. We got very even numbers here, Auroras versus Mantis, but total air domination from Voodoo, at least locally. And here comes this sub causing trouble against Lucian's naval factory. Looks like it's a frigate and a sub. Actually, we do see Voodoo's Navy production is dead, but he's still got that one. And Tech 2 air now for Lucian. Still got one sub for Voodoo. It looks like successful defense from Voodoo here. Up on top. This PD is still causing trouble. The Aurora is protecting the PD very well. With their long range, are not letting the Arty take out the PD, but the PD should be killed now. For Cyber and Arty can't shoot straight. It's completely missing. But eventually Voodoo is going to take that base. Submarine keeps on hitting frigates, not getting any kills. And Voodoo's main base is in quite a bit of trouble just because these Auroras can go on water. That's been a big issue. Seen a pretty big NG spam here. Perhaps a couple of gestures here from Voodoo would really help out against the Auroras. So it looks like Voodoo's got a presence on a lot of the map, but none of his bases are as solid as Lucian's main base here with Tech 2. It looks like he's spamming Tech 2 gunships. So, and actually Tech 2 power is going to give him a huge advantage. Upgrading mass extractors as well. This is not what you see in Voodoo's base. A lot more trouble. Now he is making gestures. This is going to be a good counter. Perhaps get him back. See, Voodoo now has captured the bottom. Finally, no more units here for Lucian, but T2 gunships now coming in. against the Mantis. These Auroras just a nuisance. Keep on putting pressure on Voodoo's main base. And now, actually, it looks like up on top, Voodoo is Lushan's forced into the ocean, and he's gonna have to deal with submarine from Voodoo. It's only a Tech 1, so it'll take a long time to kill the ACU. But great work here from these Tech 1 units. The Manti and the Artier pushed Lushan out of position. And now looking for this map, we see map control is shifting in Voodoo's favor. He's got both the side expansions, but Tech to Air is gonna prevent any kind of push, at least up on top. We see a push on the bottom, Mantis versus Auroras. The Aurora's got a micro. You can see here Lushan retreating using the range. Now these Manti are gonna run into this PD, so not too much trouble for Lushan up on the left side. The air does belong to Lushan. We can see a flag spam here from Voodoo. Instead of advancing to attack, he's forced. That was a deadly bomb right there from Lushan against the flag of Voodoo. These gestures have been very ineffective from Voodoo, getting taken out by... Actually, this one's doing pretty good with 2 kills. But they don't get to live for too long against the interceptors of Lushan. See Voodoo walking back. And that looks like gunships moving in from Lushan directly into Voodoo's base. They are attacking the air factories. And if they can kill the air factory, no more anti-air for Voodoo. And these gunships can go anywhere and kill whatever they want. We don't really see Tech 2 land here, so now Tech 2 flak. Tech 1 flak is not that good against Tech 2 gunships unless that is the only thing you make, which seems like what Voodoo's doing up on top. But he does actually have a nice force expanding up through the top channel. Pretty big Tech 1 bomber spam from Lushan. The gunships are retreating after a pretty massive Tech 1 land spam. Tech 1 flak. Plus some stationary anti-air turrets from Voodoo. So this base from Voodoo is really in a very bad shape. Voodoo's sitting in the water trying to avoid these gunships. The gunships are just going to pick another unprotected target. Actually what happens on Eye of the Storm, whoever takes control of air, probably wasn't the case as much in the 3599, but there was T3 Air. But Tech 2 Air on Eye of the Storm right now is just the only thing to do. And that's exactly what we're seeing. Maybe with the Tech 2 land, especially from Aeon, if you make a whole bunch of Tech 2 flak, you can counter. But that's really about it. You can see the power generators for Voodoo getting wiped out. And this is rather sad. It looks like Lushan is going to, well, maybe not sad if you're Lushan, but it looks like Lushan is going to take the final. He's going to win the tourney with this game. Although it looks like Voodoo is going to put up a fight. He does have a pretty large force. However, look, it is more than half flak, so not very effective against ground. You can see the flak is effective against gunships, but Tech 2 gunships are just so good. They'll actually fight through this and kill a bunch of flak. A pretty large Aurora force wiping out Voodoo's expansion up on the bottom. The top expansion really the only hope for Voodoo here. Some Tech 2 mass extractors, some power spamming. One thing to note though is the ACU for Voodoo, very vulnerable here, very far away from any safety. And Navy does belong completely to Lushan. He's about to get a destroyer out now. Looking at this base now, Swift Twins being spammed. Tech 2 force, actually Tech 1 with the shield, moving through. Auroras with the shield, just going to run through a Cyber and Tech 1. This torpedo bomber having some troubles against Voodoo. That is not surprising. This is Aeon torpedo bomber, not effective in shallow water, but as soon as his destroyer gets there, Voodoo's ACU will be dead. These gunships keep on doing their thing for Lushan. Very balanced gameplay here. We see land, Navy and air from Lucian, and all of them being very effective, as well as the ACU early on until it got pushed into the water. So map control to Voodoo in this one. Actually, Lucian's ACU making it all the way across the map on a diagonal. Voodoo's still at full health with 28 kills. A large force waiting for him. On dry land, we got some air moving in this position. We got a drop. Actually, a destroyer here not moving to Voodoo's ACU, moving to Voodoo's main base. And now it appears that Voodoo is still pushing through the top with a whole bunch of Tech 1. And he is making a note to Lucian. Thanks, Lucian, for the cup. Well played. So I do remember Lucian making a GG sign when Voodoo absolutely massacred him in the semifinal. That has been very different today with Lucian really coming back. It's as if they switched the two players from the semifinal. He can't touch me by Voodoo here. If Lucian wasn't Aeon, and if you sent this destroyer there, you definitely could. Actually, we see engineers here at Tech 1 Sub making torpedo launchers. And now Voodoo's ACU is going to start losing health. Trying to hide behind this island. It actually seems to be pretty effective. Up on top, the push still continues. His sign is getting finished. So perhaps Voodoo just wants to get himself enough time to finish the sign. And the main base just getting massacred by the destroyer. And destroyer now with 10 kills. Voodoo makes it out onto dry land. And destroyer. Maybe an overcharge here. Of course, if he doesn't have power storage, he can't overcharge, so there goes Voodoo. And Lucian wins the tourney. We will have one more game, however. Welcome to the fifth and final game of the finals in the IMBA Cup. This one actually no longer matters since Lucian just won. We will have this fifth one. Lucian playing a Cybern. This is a crazy map, never seen it before. Playing against Voodoo, who's UEF. Voodoo's been UEF, I think, most of the tourney. So a lot of mask structures on this one, it seems, but it is very large. And it looks like in the middle here. Well, first, let's speed this up. This is a massive plateau in the middle, and a mountain. Very steep edges, a whole bunch of rocks throughout the place as well. Zoom out really far on this one. So now it looks like Voodoo first land, getting the hydro, a lot of power. First land, second air for Lucian. Looks like one NG getting out there, getting a lot of mask extractors. Probably seems like a bomber here would take like a minute to get across, and then you take one land. It would take like 5 minutes. We're also seeing second air, actually multiple air factories here for Voodoo. It's going to be the pass through which you fight. See the terrain actually dips down a little bit here. So there's some weird terrain going on if people can take advantage of that. Doesn't look too symmetric. Well, it probably is. Actually, in the middle you can also get on the mountains here with these ramps. If you can control the middle, you can control these two mountains. If you can call them mountains, we got early bombers coming out now for Lucian, as well as some hunters. They're going to get the first kills of the game. Actually, this bomber just sat down. It's not going anywhere. Now it's back up. The Cybern bomber, protected by an interceptor. You see multiple air factories from Voodoo, so this bomber probably will only get one kill. Drops off 2 bombs, gets 1 kill. That was a complete miss. Going back from off map. 4 kills. That was a devastating bombing run there from Lucian. And yet another bomber coming in now. And the Hunter finally makes it across. Minute 5, takes out an expanding NG. Good work from Lucian early on. So he just won a game in a great fashion, and Eye of the Storm, and he just continues to dominate here. Kills another 2 NGs. That's 7 total NGs lost, not 2. Lucian's 2 bombers. You can see Lucian is going to spam a couple Tech 1 land factories. Got a single air factory. Power spam. A lot of mass extractors already taken. Very similar for Lucian, or for Voodoo. 2 air factories, and it looks like a pretty big land spam as well. See a lot of hunters here. Actually, Manti on top of this mountain. And actually a very early NG here. Getting these mass extractors in the middle. So very, very strong expansion from Lucian with Cybern. Cybern units are the fastest on average. So they're going to get around this map a lot faster. Especially Mantis versus Striker. See a bit of fighting here in the back. And a bit of fighting on the other side. That was very even. Both of those killing each other. And here up on top, it looks like it's going to be 3 Mantis versus 2 Strikers, and the Manti are going to win. But through the middle, we see an NG here. It's going to get taken out. And all these drops from Lucian. Lucian's been using drops extremely well through that in the last couple of games. Looks like some interceptors from Voodoo taking advantage. T2 power now for Lucian. He's got T2 land. And it looks like it's going to be a massive Tech 1 land spam. You can see all these factories. It's a very big spam from Voodoo. It's a bit of a fight here up on top of this mountain. Actually everywhere. That NG that got a bunch of mass extractors got killed. Mass extractors getting destroyed. The top is getting run over by Voodoo. And through the middle it is pretty even numbers. In the middle it looks like an NG for Voodoo was able to establish factories and mass extractors. Voodoo's building up some forces directly in the middle. Definitely air advantage for Voodoo if you were to have this fight. Another drop for Lucian. Trying to avoid detection by some of these sneaky tanks. We got in very deep into Lucian's base, and these tanks are going to continue. Some T2 flak, it seems, getting massive kills now with 7 kills this unit. Just loves Tech 1 air. This drop here from Lucian. There's a few rocks here up on top of those mountains. Perhaps that's the target. Some sneaky units from Lucian as well, won't do nothing. And it appears that Lucian was able to defend his main base, now moving out with a pretty large force. But you can see that's a lot of factories from Voodoo. That is definitely a spam, a 3rd air factory as well. And now the mountains are going to belong to Voodoo after he finishes off these Manti. Actually T2 flag here as well. And it is a successful job with an NG, a few rocks. This is a Mantis versus Striker fight, very even numbers once again. Actually we do see now some T2 from Lucian. He should be able to turn the tide. The Rhinos, extremely good units. And more drops for Lucian as well as Jester here as well. Plenty of T2 power now for Lucian. And really spamming the T2 land very hard. Absolutely no T2 from Voodoo. So 100% T1 power and 100% T1 land factories. Actually some trouble here up on top for Voodoo. And in the middle, these T2 tanks, Rhinos, it's run into way too many numbers. 11, 12 kills, but dead. Some nice mass chunks for Voodoo. And some more units getting directly into Lucian's base. The Rhinos doing their job. Important tank here for Voodoo. And no flag here with Voodoo's forces, so they're going to be very vulnerable versus Jesters. Some of these planes probably should be off the ground. The Jesters and T2 tanks from Lucian is massacring Voodoo's Tech 1. But now Voodoo really getting large numbers here. This Tech 2 just can't keep up. Many kills for these Tech 2 units, but they are dying. And map control definitely Voodoo's favor here, minute 13. Some of these tanks are still running through Lucian's base. And an air fight, but it's pretty even numbers, but it looks like Lucian should be able to take it, although Voodoo getting some reinforcements. If you see any T2 flag here for Lucian, we're actually seeing T3 land with a bunch of loyalists from Lucian. These are going to be very important, but now Voodoo actually running through into Lucian's base with big numbers. There's another ramp here. Now these loyalists are going to get a lot of kills. You can look at this from Lucian's perspective. He's got a nice flow of units. He's just got to keep his T3 ahead of him. And the fourth T2 power has got a T3 NG, T3 anti-air, and more loyalists coming. Actually some sneak attacks here with some T2 tanks, the Rhinos from Lucian. It looks like Voodoo is going to build up his forces before he attacks. Actually some T2, some pillars. T2 land factory directly in the middle. Actually now Tech 3 Titans is a pretty nice bots from UEF. Very effective against T1. Of course the loyalists from Cybern are a little better than the Titans. But big numbers for UEF here. This is going to be a very big battle. Perhaps the last battle of the IMBA Cup. That's a sneaky loyalist here picking up some easy kills. And now Voodoo begins to move through. You got the Titans versus Loyalists, Rhinos, Pillars, Strikers, Mantis, and Tech 1 Air, NGs for Voodoo. Actually for Lucian here getting some PDs. This should be pretty effective. More Loyalists moving in. And now this is pretty dangerous for Lucian. He's pushing his ACU ahead. We've got a couple T2 PDs. And now you can see Voodoo's forces in two bunches here. And the stop one has absolutely nothing stopping them from moving in. Led by a single Titan here. Here's a hero commander. Followed by many units. But it looks like trouble for Lucian on both sides. And now we are witnessing Lucian's base being ran over. So in this one, the UEF Tech 1 spam plus a Tech 3 land factory in the middle. No chance for Lucian. 17-minute roadkill here. So you got these Titans killing off the power, targeting the power. There goes the power storage. No more overcharges for Lucian. There are a couple bricks for Lucian. It'd be amazing if these bricks actually come back, but even if they come back, there's not going to be too much of a base. Killing off Titans there. Really, Lucian's ACU is the biggest problem. These bricks have no problem. 16 kills, 25 kills. Another Titan coming to his death. Total air domination from Voodoo now, but this stream of units just doesn't stop. 25 kills, 34 for the other, 40 for the ACU. And not many units left for Lucian. Now his T3 factory about to be killed. The rest of his mass extractors. And now Lucian is put into the corner, trying to dodge some arty. That's a lot of UEF arty all over the place. And Lucian dies in the last game of the tourney, but he is the champion. Congratulations for Lucian for a very great tourney, and Voodoo as well, who was undefeated until he met Lucian in the finals.